Hi guys, today I have some really beautiful antique upcycle DIY projects that I'm ready to share with you. I'm super excited for how these are going to turn out. If you are new to my channel, my name is Nicole and I have an antique booth called Green Onion Vintage, and I recently posted a shop with me going to some of the antique stores around my area, and I got a really great haul that I'm going to upcycle today and sell in my own antique booth. Here are the pieces that I'm going to be flipping. So for my first project, I'm going to be turning this large antique cabinet door into a welcome sign that's going to have some black iron hooks along the bottom. So I'm going to turn it horizontally and paint the insert white, put a really cute welcome word with some black font, and then the black hooks along the bottom. It's going to be beautiful. And originally in my last video when I had purchased this, I said I was going to turn it into a chalkboard, but I actually think that with doing the welcome sign with the hooks, I'll be able to get even more money for it and really up my profit. So I paid $24 for that door, or maybe $22 I think with a discount. And I'm hoping that at the end of the day, I'll have an amazing entryway piece that I can sell for closer to $150. So that one I'm really excited about. That's going to be my most time-consuming project today. I also have these leaded glass windows that are beautiful. They are so cool, and honestly, like, I didn't even realize how cool they were until I've had them home for a couple days. I love them. They're beautiful. The only imperfection was this little crack right here, but it's still really solid. Like, they're not going to fall out necessarily. So those are just going to get those two wreaths I have sitting down there. Pretty popular item for me to sell in my booth is any antique kind of upcycled window or cabinet door with a wreath on it. Sometimes I'll paint a word on it. Those are very, very popular for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing with these. I'll sell these as a set for close to probably $180. And I paid for the doors, I paid $58 for the pair. So that's about $29 per door. And then the wreaths are $12. And I might attach the wreaths with a ribbon like I normally do, or I might just try to attach them to the glass somehow. I'm really just liking the combination of the doors with the wreaths. Nice and simple, but really beautiful. I feel like people are mostly putting these types of things like over their mantle, and I just think it'd be so beautiful. I wish I had somewhere to put them, and actually I think they would be really awesome above my master bed, but I need to sell them. I need to be making some money in this business. I keep an awful amount of stuff, so it's about time that I sell the things, even if I really, really want to keep them. But it does mean I need to charge a price that doesn't hurt for me personally to part with them. If the price is high enough and I get some good profit margins, then it doesn't hurt quite so bad to let these pieces go. But these are going to be so beautiful, and that'll be a nice easy project for me. And then I also snagged this pair of cabinet doors, and I don't normally separate my doors, but I actually think I'm going to sell these individually and do another entryway piece where I'm going to turn these horizontal just like the other door. I think I'm going to hang the same wreath. I have one more of those wreaths on hand in the middle, and then I'll just put the black iron hooks along the bottom. Nice and simple project also. Much less time consuming than that painted door is going to be, but I think I can still get probably close to $120 for each door once I turn them into an entryway piece. Hi buddy. And I think that's everything I'm going to tackle today. Sometimes I tend to add on some projects, but it just kind of depends how productive I can be. So I'm going to get started by painting this door over here so that can get drying and I can make the stencil. So let's get started. Okay, so this is not a Cricut tutorial by any stretch, but I did want to show you guys a little bit of how I came up with this stencil for today's project. I basically just wrote the word welcome. You can start this by typing or pressing the text box over here. You're going to type in the word that you want to make. And honestly, the app on this is terrible, but like it's not going to let me select that. But if you have, once you have your text selected, which it just disappeared, like I'm telling you, the design space for Cricut lately has been a disaster. but you can come up here to where it says font and change your font. The font I'm using today is called Magical Feather, and you can download this font for free from, I think it's called dafont.com, DAFONT.com. And then you're gonna have to size it to what you want your project to be. So that means you have to take a tape measure over to the board or the sign that you're making. So for this project, I had to do a 44-inch wide word, and it's gonna be 10.5 inches tall. And now the Cricut cannot cut something that's 44 inches long. The most it can cut at one time is 23.5 inches. So what I do next is I split my word into 2 sheets. I use cardstock for my stencils because it's very cheap and it's pretty durable. So it's going to take me 2 12 by 12 sheets of cardstock per section. So this is going to be one 24-inch cutting mat, and this is my second 24-inch cutting mat. Now once I have my box made that is going to be the size of my cutting mat, I will slice out the word. And then you're going to see these bars right here. Those are actually small rectangles that I make. I size them really thin and overlay them on my image. And then you're going to want to come over here, and there's a word down here that says weld. And you can weld that small thin rectangle onto your stencil, and that's what's going to keep attached this center circle of the E. If you don't have those rectangles there, then your center of the E is not going to be attached to your stencil. And so I did the same for the L, and then the intersections of the O, and then this E. And so those rectangles are going to hold that center in place. Now it is a bit of a pain because when you go to paint your stencil, these are going to be blocked out. So after you paint, you're going to have to take your stencil up and then hand brush back in so you can erase where those rectangles were. But it's by far the easiest way I've found to keep your letters all in line and to not have to like hold down the centerpieces with your hand. It's just a huge mess. So this is the neatest way I found to do it. And then making my stencils with cardstock is by far the cheapest way I've found to do it. And so that's kind of a quick overview of how I use my Cricut to make my stencils. I'm trying to decide now which hooks I want to use. I have these, all these hooks are from Hobby Lobby. I have these that I really like, but I only got 3 of them when I was there. It was all they had. I think those are pretty cool though. If I do the 3, I have to use this as the bottom because I don't want to cover up this really cool keyhole. So I like those. I feel like they fit the size of the board well. I have a lot of these really big ones though. I just feel like they look a little too big. And then I have these small ones that I could do like 4 across. I have quite a few of these left. Maybe I would do them like down at the edge. I don't know, I would like to use up the big ones because I have a lot of those, and this is such a big board that I feel like it could probably handle it. They're just really big. Maybe they're just big compared to the other ones. Let me just keep going on this side. I'm going to keep painting. So this is 3 coats of the primer. Now a stain blocking primer is supposed to suck up the stain that the old wood could have, and I knew that this would bleed through my white paint a lot, and so you can see a lot of the discoloration maybe not so much on the camera, but there's definitely a lot of bleed through happening from this old wood and the dirt in the wood and the old oils in the wood. It's coming right up through the primer, which is exactly what I expected to happen. So I have this stain blocking Kills primer on here, and what it's supposed to do is hold on to the stain and not let it go through to your actual paint. Now, I feel like that's its claim, but that always doesn't work out. So I'm a little nervous that this is still going to stain through, even though I've done 3 coats. But it's also not the kind of project where I need it to be pristine white and perfect. I might actually end up distressing it anyway. So I'm not too stressed about if some of this stain is going to come through to my white paint. But it is something that I'm keeping an eye on. So my next step is going to be to do 2 coats of chalk paint. I'm using the Annie Sloan Old White, right? Yeah. And I'm going to do probably 2 coats, like I said. And then I'm going to do my stencil in a black, just a flat chalk paint black. And then once that dries, I will reassess the hook situation. Let's see how that goes. Now my other board is dry and I'm going to get started on this piece. All I'm going to be doing is cleaning it up with this same Sunshield wood protector. This is beeswax and orange oil, and it's not just a protector, but it's actually a really good gentle way to clean your wood also. So I'm just going to kind of rub this all over with an old towel, and then I'll be ready to turn it on its side, attach the hooks and the wreath, and this project will be ready to go. All right, so my next big decision to make is how I want to attach the wreaths onto these beautiful lead glass windows. What is it? Why can I never remember what that's called? So I have it narrowed down, I think, to either the burlap ribbon or the twine ribbon. I don't want to go too country with these because I feel like the look of the windows is very traditional and classic. And I definitely don't want to do gingham because that goes to farmhouse and modern, and I just feel like it clashes. So I think what I'm actually going to do is this twine. It's just the least obtrusive, and I think it really just lets the window panes and those natural details, it lets those shine rather than competes with them. I think the burlap is covering up too much of that pretty detail up there, and I don't know that it necessarily goes with the wood very well. So I think it's going to be the twine. All I did was just wrap it around like a few times to kind of make it thicker. Okay guys, I am all done with everything, so I'm going to show you how everything looks. This is my welcome sign. I know the lighting's not great. It's like 10:30 at night by now. So it's really taking me about all day to get through here. But I ended up using the hooks that have like these little label tags. I thought those are kind of cool. Those are from Hobby Lobby. I like how this sign came out. I'm actually considering though distressing the letters. It makes me nervous to do that because it's kind of hard to go back once you've started, but I almost always prefer it. And I think on this rustic wood, some distressing would be nice. So I'm going to do that with you guys in a second, but let me show you how everything else turned out. Here's these windows here. I think they're beautiful. I think I'm probably going to try to sell the pair for about $160. That's about how much I need to charge for them to keep my profit margins decent enough. But I think they're just really pretty. I like just how simple the twine is. Doesn't distract from the glass at all. And then the other piece over here. I hope you can see it in the light. So just, you know, a few simple projects, but I really turn these antiques into something that can be used again in somebody's home rather than just, you know, put in a burn pile or just sitting in an antique store for who knows how long. You know, sometimes all it takes is just a little creativity to reimagine what these old pieces of wood can become. And these are all really fun for me to do today. So before I let you go, let's distress this and see how that goes, and then we will say goodbye for now. Okay, super happy with how the distressing turned out. I'm always, almost 100% of the time, happy to distress things. It's just a little nerve-wracking because I worked so hard to make it perfect at first, and it feels really difficult to put some sandpaper to what I just worked on, but it looks great, and I think it complements the age of the wood more than before, and it even like helps the cracks look a little bit okay. When I style this in the booth, I will definitely pair it with either like a garland draped across the top or just a wreath hanging from the hook. And that is going to be it for this video as far as my projects go. Now, if you guys would like to see how these look in my booth, I am going to be taking them into the booth in about 4 days. And while I'm there, I would love to do an antique booth tour with you guys. So if you want to see how everything looks all put together and styled in my booth, please like and subscribe so you can check that video out. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.